Texas boxing scene here with Laredo's own El Mago, Josh Juarez from Laredo, Texas. Now a heavyweight. We're going to get into that. First, congratulations. First round knockout. You had two and a half year layoff out of the ring. So congratulations on the win. What was it like to be back in the ring and, to get that knockout after being out so long?
It felt great, especially after being away from the ring. That ring rust. I thought I was going to feel some ring rust. I actually didn't. It felt amazing, especially in Laredo. We had a good crowd. The fights before them were pretty good as well. And what can I say? A lot of people don't know this, but when I first got my brother let me know, and my manager let me know that I was going to be on the card here in Laredo. My manager asked me, "Hey, how do you feel about being in the card in Laredo?" I was perfect. Let's get it. I think it's a good way to start off again. And I was happy, man. I was happy. Just thank God that he blessed me, with fighting in Laredo, fighting again, and I had a little bit of jitters, see how I felt at heavyweight. But I just want to thank everybody that came out and showed support, and everybody that's been behind me since my layoff to now, and whoever's with me in the future. You as well. I know you've always supported me, so I thank you as well.
Oh, no doubt. It's been a pleasure, watching your fights and covering you and, seeing your development. If you had pre-fight jitters, if you had jitters early on, they didn't last long because you knocked them out pretty quickly. What was it like to, obviously, the object is to knock him out. You got to knock out in the first round. But did you want to go more rounds? Did you want to go a little longer because of the layoff?
I actually wanted to impress, first fight back. I wanted to knock out like anybody wants to knock out, right? I wanted to knock out. I expected him to go, I'm not going to lie to you, to go all 6 rounds just because I knew this guy he has 11 fights pro boxing professionally. And he has like about easy 50-some, 60-some MMA fights. So you know how those guys are built tough, takes kicks, elbows, knees to the face. You know what I mean? So I actually thought he was going to last in there. I told myself, if I see I'm connecting him with my best shots and I'm giving him everything I can, and I'm not hurting him, then I just have to box him. The beginning of the first round, I kind of had those jitters come out in the first round. I was just connecting with one shot, see if I was hurting him. And once I actually sat down on my punches and started stringing up 3, 4, 5 punch combos, that's when it started getting better. And knockout came it actually was like half a second before the first round ended. So it was good. That was good.
So congratulations on the win. One thing I wanted to ask you about that was your corner. You had like a who of celebrity Texas boxing corner. You had Alex Rincon as your tournament, undefeated junior middleweight from Dallas area. What was that about? What made you want to go with Alex in your corner, and how did that come about?
I had the All-Stars in there. Shout out to them. I have a real close relationship with Alex Rincon. He's now probably my number one, my trainer. Yeah. I had talked about it with my brother. Actually, he's my number 2 in the corner. We spoke about it, and I was like, imagine I had Alex in my corner, and we've been best friends since we met at the National Golden Gloves. We were on the Texas team together, and we were roommates. From there, we just became best friends. And I know he didn't have really anything on his plate, and so the reason that happened was my manager, Lamar Roach. Shout out to him as well, the whole Roach family, Lamar Roach.
Senior,
from DC. He had Lamar fighting on the Ryan Garcia card. That was 2 weeks before my fight, and what happened was I was going to go out to DC for camp, but it didn't seem like a good idea since I was going to be full force camp, almost closing out camp over there, and then him being busy with Lamar's fight and what was the Garcia fight again? California, right?
California, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
California. Lamar Roach looked really, really good in that fight, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did actually. I love watching Lamar Roach Jr. real good friend of mine as well, like family. I love watching them fight. So I like to study everybody, especially Texas boxers. I support Texas boxers. I had number 3 in my corner was Eddie Ortiz, and his dad. They were in my corner. His dad was the cut man for my fight, and Eddie Ortiz, shout out to him too. That's my boy. So
and Jeremiah, the cut man, Mr. Ortiz, Papa Ortiz, really good family, really good people. I like the Ortiz crew.
Yeah,
They're good people.
So I'm going back to that again. Going back to the why I had Alex. He didn't have any fights coming up, and I wanted to do, since I couldn't do camp in DC. I mentioned it to Coach Lamont. Hey, how about camp in Dallas? Right, that's where I have there's a lot of good Texas boxing out there. A lot of sparring partners for me out there too, and. Alex, every time I go up and train with him, he gives me the work, man, when it comes to strength and conditioning, taking me boxing wise. And I mean, who better to have, right, than also a real good friend of mine, like a brother to me, and be up there in camp with him. It was just a whole different energy. And having Eddie Ortiz's dad, he wrapped my hands real well. He didn't get to do the cut man part of it, right, because
well, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. But he was ready. He was ready to help me out there too, and he did. He did a real good job. My brother Frank Juarez, and Eddie Ortiz. He was my number 4 in the corner. So we had a good squad, a whole Texas team in there. Represent. And it was just fun, man. It was fun. We had George Castañeda in the house too. That's my boy. He was there. For the fights and supporting me as well before the comeback. He gave me some motivational words. He told me, get at it, man. When you're still 9-0, it's time to go 10-0 before the year ends.
So I want to talk to you about Jorge, because he had a similar layoff, and then he came back on a big card, on a DAZN card. I know you guys are really close, and how have you enjoyed his success, and what's that been like in Laredo between you, Jorge Castaneda, Jennifer Lozano, all this, this boxing scene that's absolutely emerging in Laredo at this time.
It actually gets me very excited because I'm a hometown kid. I love my city of Laredo. I'll say that all the time, and especially I know that boxing is big. We people here love seeing boxing. They love to see people get down in the ring. Anywhere, bar fights, anywhere, they like seeing all that drama. They like seeing the fights here in Laredo. So when it comes to George putting Laredo on the map, Jennifer Lozano, she's a real good amateur boxer, probably maybe an Olympic hopeful, and I'm thinking she is going to be part of the Olympic team. And that just shows.
I was at Nationals last December. She wasn't just the best women's fighter there. I mean, she was the best fighter. She was dominating everyone. She wasn't even close in her weight class. So, I mean, it's going to be hard for her not to make the Olympics. I mean, someone would really have to throw in a crazy upset to beat her. She was, so dominant.
She works hard. I see it all the time. I'm real close friends with Eddie Vela, his wife, Michelle, and they kick her butt in the gym, and they make sure she's always in the gym. And she's real disciplined as well. That's what gets you far in boxing as well. She's just a hard worker, and she loves it. You gotta have love for it, and you could just tell, she's born and bred for it. And seeing that makes me excited. You know what I mean? Because I love Laredo. All I do is support Laredo things, whether it's businesses, boxers, fighters. We have a guy here he's been on a streak. His name is Kiko Gonzalez. He's an MMA fighter. He's actually really good as well. So Laredo's getting up there, man. That's what makes me excited, and for me to be at least a little bit part of it, it makes me happy.
Laredo is becoming one of the premier boxing scenes. That's just not in Texas, but anywhere in the country. I mean, there's so many good fighters coming out of Laredo at this time. It's it's a city about 100,000, 200,000 people, so it's not a huge city, but they are putting together a really, really good fight scene. So I want to ask you real quick before we change subject. Alex Rincon is moving forward. You're gonna have him in his corner. Is that something you're gonna do again, or?
As it seems right now, I feel that just mentally, it was good having him with me, physically as well. You know what I mean? Because he's not only a boxing trainer, he gives strength and conditioning workouts as well. and those were tough. But that's what prepared me for this, and just him having me in the corner. He's super smart. I don't know if you saw his when he was on broadcasting for
I
Golden
was
Boy.
at the fight. I was in Fort Worth. I was there, but I've heard his commentary. He's got a great mind. He's got a boxing.
Yeah, he does.
Right? Yeah.
I was speaking to him not about like 30 minutes ago before this, and I was just giving him, like his credits because he's really detailed when it comes to broadcasting. I've heard some other guys, and I'm like, they're all right, but hearing him in the broadcasting or commentating way, he sounded real good, real good. He knows how to break down. Okay, this person is the positive and negatives of each fighter and how the fight was going on. I liked it. He impressed me.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you, the nickname Mago. I've always the magician. Where did that nickname come about? How'd you get that nickname?
Actually, I got it from my brother. One day we were just like, we always said, I'm not gonna start off with a nickname. I'm just gonna get it. Maybe have the people give it to me. That didn't turn out as planned. Nobody ever gave me a nickname. So my brother's like, you need a nickname, man. You need a nickname. Well, what should we do? And he started giving me a list of names. I was like, nah, no. There was a time that it was like triple J, like triple G, right? With triple J, because those are my initials. I was like, nah, it's too, I don't know. And he just started. I always liked El Mago. I know. I believe it's Javi Baez. I don't know. He still plays for the Cubs or.
He plays for the Tigers now. He plays for the Tigers.
Yeah. And I've always liked that name because I know they call him El Mago. And I know another boxer, Miguel Angel Gonzalez. Every time I mention El Mago, they always mention Miguel Angel.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. You're right. Yeah. I mean, that's before your time, though, isn't it? I mean, Miguel Angel Gonzalez was. When were you born? You were born.
Yeah, I was born in '97.
Yeah. All right. That's about.
But I like it. The reason I like that is not a lot of people have used that name. El Mago. I like it. It's someone that's good and really in definition, someone that's good with their hands. In other words, like a wizard, a sorcerer. So I feel I'm good with my hands. So I like it.
All right, so walk me through. I want to kind of start from the beginning here. Like you said, you have a sensational amateur career, national Golden Gloves, right? How'd you get your start in boxing, and how did that all start for you, for a young Josh Juarez?
Everybody talks about, oh, my dad got me in this, especially us being Hispanic, Mexican dads, everywhere out there is like, oh, they instill boxing in their kid. I've always liked combat sports. I actually started karate. My dad would teach karate with me, my brother, and my sister, right? And I was that scrapper, that stubborn kid that always wanted to fight. In karate, it's more like, I don't know if you've seen the way you score it. Once you connect in the torso, they'll stop the fight and they'll give the point to whoever scored it, right? And I just never really, I like karate, but I've never been into it. I've been more contact. I want to keep on going. And funny thing to like add on to that is one day I was about 6 or 7 years old, probably 6 or 7. I was watching a Rocky marathon. I had never seen Rocky in my life, ever. And I was watching a marathon, and after that, I was just like, oh, I want to be like Rocky. I want to get in boxing. And I told my dad, and then they took me to the boxing gym and just fell in love with the sport after that. And went off.
So you turned pro about 2016, right?
Yeah.
You run off 8 straight wins, opponent level guys, mostly in Laredo, get a lot of knockouts. Talk about that. Talk about the come up, everything up until the Nella Abrazhan fight, right? Talk about your first 7-8 fights, getting knockouts, dominating, lesser opponents. What was that like?
It was, it's, in a way, it's a long road, but also a short road. You know what I mean? I feel like now that I look back at it, I feel like, wow, that was years ago already. We're already in 2022, not too far away from 2023. You know what I mean? And I'm already 10 fights in. And now I think about it, it's like, damn, it's a long time ago. But at the same time, I feel like I just turned pro like last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is not long. So It's been a fun road, man. I've learned a lot of things. I've been to different camps. I've been in camps in California, Mexico, DC, Dallas, Austin. It's fun. It's very true what they say. In boxing, you never stop learning, ever, ever. There's just so many different styles out there, so many things to learn, and I'm still learning. You know what I mean? So I feel I'm still young in the sport, very young actually, and hopefully before the year ends, we could go 11-0.
We'll get to that. We'll get back to that in a second. So you're 7-0, and then you fight Del Abrazan, who's also undefeated. Undefeated, but more fights. I think he's 12-0 at that time, right? You're only really 2 years into your professional career. You take this massive step up fight. Were there any nerves? Was there any hesitation in taking such a big step up fight? I mean, you go fighting opponents, guys you're supposed to take care of, to fighting an undefeated guy who was probably supposed to beat you, right? I mean, was there? I know it's in your home, right, and everything, but like, was there any hesitation? Was any nerves?
I actually did not
all at once.
I actually did not have any hesitation. I remember I saw a couple of fights that he had. Tough guy. And I said, we could beat him. We could beat him. I know I guess it's going back to the amateurs. I've fought guys that are way bigger than me, tougher than me. So I'm supposed to look bad against them because when I went to National Golden Gloves, I was only 16. I was fighting in the 201 division. I had all this baby fat on me. I looked like non-muscular at all. I was fighting huge guys. I remember the first one, I almost stopped him, broke his nose. The second one, I beat him. The third one, I fought DeRay Crane, and he was part of the probably USA team, and he fought for USA for a while. And I went the distance with him. That guy was huge. So really, in reality, that he didn't intimidate me. I felt like I've seen more styles. He was real two-dimensional. So I was like, I know I could beat this guy. Just boxing him. If the knockout comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? But it's real simple. I told myself, as long as I could take his pop, I'm good. And once I was actually there, I really didn't feel his power the way he had it. I believe he was 10-0 with 8 KOs, but I really didn't feel it. So no nerves. I know I trained hard for that fight, and once it happened, it was just a blessing. It was a blessing because that really moved me up in the ranks.
It was a really fan-friendly. You had to take a chance, right? Because you had beaten guys, 0-1, 1-2, debut. If I was like that, if I was supposed to take care, and you took care of them like you were supposed to, you took that massive step up, and it was a real fan-friendly fight. And I think Noah thought he was going to win that fight, and then, he gets into the middle of that fight, and he realizes he's in real deep, right? Yeah. And you got through it. I mean, it was a great fight. I'm not saying he laid down or anything. He fought like hell, but you got through it, and you came on top in a really good fight. So now you're 8-0 at that point, right? Your career is really taking off. I'm with you in Laredo at Fight Fest. There's kids coming up for you, asking for your autographs, getting, autographing boxing gloves from and stuff like that. And then you get the fight in Dallas on the Virgil Ortiz card. Talk about that a little bit. Because you fought another I know that your opponent there didn't have the shiniest record. Yeah. But tell me about that was a guy that arguably, you can go back and watch it on YouTube.
Probably the most awkward Jared
Hurd. You can say what you want. He beat Jared Hurd.
Yeah. Probably the most awkward guy I fought. I remember they had told me, like, hey, this guy, is not the best record, but the guys, he's beaten some undefeated guys, so just be careful, right? Because
they gave Jared Hurd a gift decision over him. He beat Hurd, and that was the guy that you fought on, this coming out fight on this Virgil Ortiz. Because that's a real tricky opponent.
Yeah, and it was kind of it was bittersweet because obviously the sweet part is the win, right? But I wanted to really show out for the people for Golden Boy, us being boxers coming up, we have no contractual deal with them. You coming up, you always want to get signed to somebody like Top Rank, Golden Boy, Matchroom, PBC. So it's kind of hard. It was kind of the bitter part was he was really awkward. So I really couldn't showcase my skills, but. I mean, I got the win.
You won. I mean, every round. I thought he maybe won one round, so it was a 6-round fight. So, I mean, you won clearly. What do you think your performance, and what kind of grade would you give on that performance?
My grade, I'm really tough on myself, really. I saw myself win all rounds. It was just him being so awkward. He was just dancing around the ring, and when we're actually close, he would hug me and he would like headbutt me. He would move super weird. I could never get a clear shot on him. And I knew I would get him a clear shot. I probably would have dropped him, but I did just enough to win. I boxed him when I connect him with the cleaner shots. I was showing the judges the ring control. Just like I said, man, I wish I would have gotten a better opponent, even if it was a tougher opponent, just someone that was gonna stand in there and trade with me as well, so I could show that I'm not scared to sit there and trade with someone as well.
So I mean, now you got to win on a national card, a Golden Boy card, and things are going really well for you, 9-0. Couple months later, pandemic hits, COVID hits, right? Everything is shut down. I mean, what's going on right now? You're what, 22 at that time?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say I was 22, 23.
And then everything hits the pause button, right?
Yeah.
What's going on at that point? I mean, how frustrating is that? And how do you stay busy? And how do you keep yourself in shape during all the lockdowns and everything?
Man, it's funny going back to those times. Speaking out, really, it was kind of depressing because obviously all the sad news. People that were dealing with COVID, fighting it. It just wasn't the same, man. It just wasn't the same. COVID hit everybody hard, sadly. Me personally, I remember I would try to do stuff inside of the house, and it just wasn't the same. Especially all my boxers can speak for us and say it's just not the same being inside of a house. You know what I mean? I lived in an apartment, so it was even worse.
Yeah.
But I want to say that when that happened, it just hit me hard, man, and just said, you know what, life, that just shows you that life happens. You know what I mean?
Life does happen, and everyone survived it. Thank God. You get through it. Then there's this. I saw you a couple of times late in 2021. I'm like, wow, you look like a heavyweight or a cruiserweight. You're looking big, and you said at that time, you're thinking about moving up to cruiserweight. And I saw that time. I think that's a good idea. I think cruiserweight would be a good fit for you if you can carry that weight. So what made you decide? Okay, did you just outgrow light heavyweight? I mean, you got older. Did you just bulk up? Like, my body is bigger now, and
In reality, I would always say no. I'm gonna drop back to light heavy. I'm gonna drop back to I could do it. And then I would look at it. Wasn't until that I got really this fight that I realized, or like before when this year started, when I saw you, I was like, now that I go back and look at myself when I was light heavy, I was really skinny. Like, I would drop the weight, but I was really skinny. I felt real depleted as well. And like, my pop didn't feel the same as in camp as in being in the fight. You know what I mean? I felt good, but not as I should be. You know what I mean? And I realized in the amateurs, when I was fighting, there was fights I fought at 178, and I felt okay. And when I fought at 201, I was actually stopping people, which is I was walking around like 190 some. I was stopping people in the amateurs. I was winning more in the amateurs when I was at that weight. And I realized, you know what? Well, maybe like cruiserweight is the weight for me. You know what I mean? It's just me. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'll stick with that pop, be lighter as well. Because even when I went to the Olympic trials, the Olympic qualifiers, I fought at 201, and I almost stopped the guy in the first fight as well. And I looked good. I didn't look too sloppy. I didn't look overweight. I didn't look underweight. You know what I mean? So, and I feel as time progresses, I feel being at cruiserweight, it will be a good fit for me right now.
I think so too. With your hand speed, like you say, you don't have a lack of power. You might not have, sensational one punch knockout, Deontay Wilder power, but you certainly got power, right? You carry power, the hand speed. I think it's a good fit for cruiserweight. I mean, you're going to be the fastest guy in the ring, no matter who you fight at cruiserweight. So I think that's a really good fit for you. But this last fight, coming 228. What are you walking around at? And I mean, is 228 basically what you're walking around at, or I mean, did you come back, or did you bulk up to get 228 to fight as a heavyweight?
No, I was like I said, I was a little heavier. I dropped weight during camp so I could look good, physically as well. I'm those type of guys that if I look good, I feel good. You know what I mean? So I dropped a bit of weight, and we said, okay, if the fight's around 220-ish, that's where he's coming in at. He actually came in at 240. We thought he was going to come in a little lighter because I thought it was coming up. But that's okay, you know. I told myself, we have to start somewhere. I'm dropping the weight to cruiser. Right now, I weighed myself a couple of days ago. I was at this after the fight. I weighed in like at 229,
Okay.
which is just a pound over. So slowly but surely, we're dropping that weight. Maybe I'll get a fight at 215, meet somebody at 215, 210, and then next fight again, we're at cruiserweight. You know what I mean?
You want to fight one more time, somewhere in between, somewhere over the cruiserweight limit, but
Yeah, it just depends. Like, say if I fight in October, well, okay, I'll get a fight at 215, 210. It's a fight in November, December. Okay, maybe I will have time to drop down to cruiserweight. You know what I mean? I just want to get something before the year ends so I could say with confidence I could go 11-0.
And I want to ask you about that, right? So after the layup, you come back, you look good, you get the knockout. It's one round. So you've really only fought one round now and going on almost 3 years, right?
Yeah.
When do you want to be back in the ring? Is there a date? Is there a plan when you'll be back in the ring? Do you know when you're going to be fighting next?
Me, I have to speak with my manager, right, Lamont Roach, and just talk to him, to see how what he thinks. Speak to Alex, my brother as well, my family, what they think. I always include them a lot when it comes to me fighting again. And me personally, I would probably want to fight in November, or early November, like any boxer, because I want to enjoy the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Obviously, I mean, if I'm not able to get a fight before that, well, so be it, right? That's the sacrifices I have to make, But it's because, it's always hard when you go away for camp and you're away from home and you can't really celebrate like everybody does, and it's just not the same. But me personally, hopefully something in late October, early November.
Okay. It'd be good to have you back. And I want to ask you, since you are technically still a heavyweight, we got the rematch, Usyk and AJ. For 3 of the 4 heavyweight belts.
That's a tough one. And then with man, I really like both fighters a lot. They're on my top list of fighters of right now. Who are my faves. But I want to say Usyk takes it again. He's just all around great, man. AJ, he has that power. I just don't feel that. Whoever he's with, I know. I'm glad he went. I'm a big fan of Robert Garcia. I'm glad he's training with Robert Garcia for this fight. Whoever he's with, I don't think he'll evolve fast enough to figure out Usyk's style. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that you could throw something different at him every round. He's like Lomachenko, and he's gonna adapt, just like Mayweather as well. They're one of those boxers that you throw him something different every round, and you want to change up your style, and he's gonna adapt real quick. That's what Usyk is, and that's why he was the best cruiserweight and right now the best heavyweight in the world.
And again, Usyk's a guy. I mean, 6'2", 220. That's your size. Heavyweight in the world. That's like, all right, 6'2", 220. Because for 50 years, 6'2", 220 was your standard heavyweight. And then you had Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe, and now everyone's 6'6", 260. But you look at it like, I can be heavyweight champ at 6'2", 220. I can do that. I mean, that's not too small to be a heavyweight.
It's just for me, it's always mattered if you could take that pop. If you could take that pop, then you're good. You're good. You know what I mean? I mean, if Usyk could take that AJ punch, then why not? Right now, he's proved that AJ's not even with just taking away his power, moving around the ring, boxing him. Not that he's nothing, of course, but he's just someone that you could work around. That just shows you that boxing is always superior. You show him. Just because you have a heavy hitter, if you move around the ring, that's boxing for you, man. It's boxing.
What's interesting is Roy Jones Jr., because he went from light heavyweight straight to heavyweight to fight John Ruiz. And he said the same thing. He said Ruiz hit him with a clean right hand at the end of the first round, very end of the first round, and Roy Jones took it, didn't phase him. He said, "Oh, I got this." Right?
Yeah.
Once he realized he could take that shot from heavyweight, like, easy work.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I remember I've noticed some trainers, right, and it's happened to me as well. Getting out of the first round, I like when some trainers, they come back to the corner after the first round. The first question they ask you is, "Hey, how'd you feel him? Like, how do you feel his power?" You know what I mean? You have to be realistic there. And when a trainer asks that impresses me a lot, because now okay, we're going to approach him with this approach. You know what I mean? We're going to approach him with, okay, I need you to move your head more. I need you to just be a dog in there. Walk him down. If you don't feel his pop, walk him down. Be a dog in there. You know what I mean? So that goes a long way. Like I said, if you can take that person's pop, then it's different. It's different. And if you feel that pop, okay, you have to change up. You have to know how to adapt to his pop. You know what I mean?
And that's something that you can feel from the first round on, right? I mean, you can tell.
Maybe you're blocking, he hits your arms. You feel it real quick. So you'll know. Okay. Me, I've always had the tendency. Nah, I don't feel his power that much. Yeah, he has a respectable power. Just have to be careful. But so far, I haven't felt anyone's pop right now, at least.
Josh Juarez, hopefully we'll be back in the ring October, November. We'll keep you up to date on that. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege, just like it's been an honor to cover your career so far. Can't wait to see what the future holds. Josh Juarez, former and future Cruiserweight champ from Laredo, Texas. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media, and also if you have any shout outs or any sponsors, anything like that,
Shout out to I want to give a quick shout out real quick. Shout out, of course, to you, Gary John, for always covering Texas boxing, supporting all these Texas boxers. People are trying to make it up there. I always think that Texas should stick together, and Texans should stick together in the boxing scene. Support one another. So shout out to you for giving us this interview time, this date, this that media time. You can find me Facebook, Josh Juarez. Instagram, Josh J Juarez 12. I want to say my Twitter is Josh Juarez 69, I believe. At Josh Juarez 69. And shout out to all my sponsors, man. AA Construction Pools, GCS, House, Restaurant, Bar. I want Gamis Funeral Services. Anyone else I'm missing? Give me a second. I'm sorry. I have to have it written up because I had a few sponsors. Give me a second. A shout out to the Goat brand as well. Shout out to Councilman Laredo Councilman Rudy Gonzalez Jr., Cabello Record Services, and shout out to my cousin. My cousin of mine was actually my sponsor of mine, Beto Flores, as well. And shout out to everybody in Laredo, everyone that's supporting me as well. I do this for you guys, for my family, for my friends, my day one supporters, the ones that even supported me when I was in my layoff. And I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully I'll be back in the ring soon.
It's been an honor. It's been a privilege. Josh, don't forget, if God is with you, who can be against you?
That's right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.